Hey everyone, welcome to another video in this channel where typically I share with you stories. And well, this is the first time that I'm showing you my face, but the event, it's worth it. Today I have a guest, and this is Tabitha Lucas. And she lived in Brazil for 12 years with her husband and kids. She recently moved back to Maryland in the United States from Brazil. She is fluent in Portuguese and focuses on helping students with businesses and traveling needs to the US. She had a successful school in Goiás, Brazil, and taught English and economics at universities as well. In 2020, she migrated to online teaching to take care of her two small children. Okay? While the world was locked down. She currently has a community for teachers, which is amazing and help a lot of people there. And today we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving and American culture. Tabitha, welcome to this channel.
Thank you, Norn. Thank you for the introduction.
You are very welcome. So, Tabitha, Thanksgiving. Uh, there are a lot of videos about it, but for people who don't live in the US, can you tell us a little bit about Thanksgiving? How important it's Thanksgiving for Americans?
Yes, so recently Thanksgiving has changed. I think that there's this culture of what Thanksgiving means to certain people. So I'm going to talk about the settlers in the United States, how I was raised, what Thanksgiving meant to me as a child, and then I'll talk about what it's become. So Thanksgiving was a time for families to gather to share a huge turkey, huge or a ham, lots of food, like 20 people all crammed together in the same house. I remember the women in the kitchen cooking all day, and the men and the kids playing like outside football or watching the football game. There's always a football game. I also remember like special foods. And I know that sounds interesting, but as a child, we didn't have turkey throughout the year. We only had it once a year. And food that combines with turkey is stuffing, which again, like we love. It's dried bread with some people call it dressing, and some people stuff it inside, which is why it's called stuffing. They take the dried breadcrumbs and add a dressing or a juice, a meat juice to this, or a broth. Meat juice is broth.
Yes,
And
exactly. Very good. Very good that you are also explaining that.
I'm
Okay.
so bad. And
No,
then
excellent.
so we cook that. There's again like just very special food to maybe impress the family as well. Cranberry sauce. I mean, it's so simple. You open a can and it's this like jelly or a preservative like of cranberries, and there's some with actual cranberry fruits. Um, Mashed potatoes, but like enormous amounts with gravy. So Americans will have mashed potatoes, but not always have gravy. With gravy is also a meat juice with
Yes,
flour.
exactly.
It's made with broth. So, and it's traditionally made with, so with the, I guess the, what is that called? Like the oils or the broth that comes off or the fat that comes off the turkey, it lays in the bottom of the
The
pan, and then
drippings.
the drippings,
The
they use
drippings.
that
Mhm.
to make the gravy. Um, Sweet potatoes, and then just so much corn pudding, different salads. I'm probably missing a lot. So if you could help me. So I know this is going on YouTube, but if you can think on the chat of like your favorite Thanksgiving food, that would be really helpful. And I'll go back and like, oh yeah, we have that too. And then we have
Exactly.
desserts. So it's just you get to the house at like, well, because I was a woman and or I was a girl, and so I was helping in the kitchen. We had to get there early, or if it was at our house, um, we would do that. Um, and we would just spend the entire day cooking. We had an early breakfast and then we just cooked and we ate. So it's not just cooking for others, like you're enjoying the process. You're learning new recipes, you're hearing stories about past Thanksgivings, um, just fun family memories. Okay, so that is how I grew up celebrating Thanksgiving. And we also had off of school and people had off of work. Um, I don't remember when Black Friday became so popular. So that was another thing I remember is when I was a little kid, Black Friday wasn't very a big deal, but we do connect eating a lot on Thanksgiving Day, going to bed early. So when I was a teenager, we would wake up extremely early and go with our friends and like some aunts to Black Friday sales, which again, as a kid, right? Or as a teenager. So how has things changed now? Now I travel during Thanksgiving. I don't even eat Thanksgiving with my family. And I do believe it's because I spent 12 years in Brazil. So, and I know that the pandemic has really changed Thanksgiving for a lot of people as well. Um, in the past, we would travel to Indiana or we would travel to Ohio, which is like 8 hours or 12 hours drive to visit family and get everybody together. Or the family would come to us and stay with us in Maryland. So that was also a very big deal. We would rather drive. So if you think about it, 12 hours to Indiana and 12 hours back. That's 24 hours of driving. We would rather do that than ride on an airplane to take a flight because flights were so expensive in the past.
Correct.
Um,
Exactly.
sorry, I'm talking a lot, right? But today we see a lot of people celebrating and getting together with friends. And so we do Friendsgiving. Um, I've done two Friendsgivings so far this month of November. I love it.
Really?
I love Friendsgiving because it's like the same kind of deal with all the food and the laughter. The first one felt like the United Nations because it was for people from all over the world. My friend Anoki, who's from India, she hosted, her husband's from Guatemala. So there were Brazilians, which was cool. I think, no, there were other Americans as well. But one of the Americans actually lived in Germany. And so it was her first time back in a few years. So it was so cool to exchange and talk about German culture. There was a couple from, I can't remember the country. Um, I can't remember. Somewhere in Africa. I can't remember. I should remember. I can't right now. I'm sorry. And then more people from Guatemala, from Miguel's side of the family. There's more. I can't remember. But just so much, right? And then so many different types of food. Okay, it wasn't the
Yes.
traditional Thanksgiving dinner that I was expecting, but it was delicious. And then we did like a Brazilian one. And then the other thing that's interesting is while I was living in Brazil, I had rented restaurants, huge restaurant, not huge, but restaurants to have a kitchen and a big space so that I could share the idea of Thanksgiving with my students. And one of the traditions we created was everybody brought their own um, food, like a
Food.
dish.
Hmm.
Mhm. And so again, we talked about what is traditional, but people would bring Brazilian food too. I remember I made two big turkeys, which was like a really big hit because people don't eat like a roasted turkey traditionally in Brazil. So that was really special for a lot of my students. And I made some traditional pies like pumpkin pie and apple pie, and my students had never tried these foods. So it was so interesting to see their experiences and to share these food traditions with them. And then we all, so Brazil is very Catholic or very religious, Christian. And so we had a big prayer together and shared what we were thankful for. And I think, again, traditionally, that's what people do. They share what they are thankful for. Um, so I've done that in Brazil. We did that like 4 or 5 times, and then the pandemic came and we stopped doing that. But that was so much fun. And then this year, we're traveling. So since the pandemic, we've decided that we have time off. You know, I'm not teaching classes. This year, the kids have a whole week of school off. My husband
Right.
has off of work, and we're like, okay, let's have the food another day. So we'll probably have Thanksgiving dinner Sunday
On
with my
Sunday.
family.
Okay.
Okay. And then it leaves Thanksgiving Day open to celebrate at each household. You know, so like my sisters are going to do stuff at their house, my brothers are going to do stuff at their house. I think my parents are going to go to my brother's house for Thanksgiving Day. And they're like, Tabitha, are you coming? I'm like, no, no, no,
No.
no. I'm out of here. I'm traveling. And they're like, you're crazy. And I'm like, we've got 4 days off, you know? Like
Exactly.
we're going to the mountains. We're going hiking, and we're just gonna be in the outdoors before it gets too cold.
Oh, wow. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because you have the winter coming, right? In
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
So
Tabitha, what you have shared with us, it's amazing because we
yeah.
hear different stories, and I tell you, as a non-native, I learned English living in my country. I have been abroad, yes, but in Canada, which is totally different. And when I was in Canada, I didn't live the Canada Thanksgiving, which is also celebrated differently and on another date,
Yes.
completely different.
Yes.
So hearing this from you, who was born and raised, and sharing, all the changes that traditions have had, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that hearing from some students which are in other Latin American countries, I am located in Panama also, which is in Central America. Here in Panama, we have a big influence from Americans,
Yes.
because we had the Southern Command Network, the Southern Command here, Southern Command Network. By the way, that was a channel.
Right. The Panama Canal.
Exactly, exactly. So there was no cable in many houses in Panama, but we could hear English on that channel, on that TV channel.
That is so funny.
Yes, so funny. So having that influence, some Panamanians celebrate Thanksgiving. And when you ask, okay, why do you celebrate Thanksgiving? They say, well, because we have to be thankful for what we have accomplished during this year. And I say, well, excellent, excellent. However, what you share with us about how you celebrate Thanksgiving, like the family gathering, the women in the kitchen the whole day cooking, that sounds so much as my New Year's Eve.
Yes. Yes.
We celebrate Latin America, well, at least for Panama, I can talk to. And if you are watching this from any other country, you can go ahead and leave us how you celebrate these holidays, even if it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, of New Year, or other celebrations, right? But here we do celebrate New Year's big time. Okay. And what we do on the 31st of December, it's precisely that. We get into the kitchen, we prepare turkey, ham, the rice. Here in Panama, the rice, it's like potatoes
Yes,
for
of
other
course.
countries.
Yeah.
So, and just like you mentioned for Thanksgiving, you eat turkey. That is like the day to eat turkey. Here in Panama, Christmas and New Year's are the dates to eat turkey. We don't eat
Oh,
turkey
okay.
during the year, just for these, special holidays. So it's amazing. It's very good. I love this so much because we could get like, it's like getting inside, a culture and
Yeah.
knowing so many things about it. So, from all those delicious dishes that you mentioned, which
Hmm.
one can you say is your favorite?
Oh, that is so funny. Okay, I'll tell you what I hate. I hate ham. I think it's way too salty. And
Yes.
then so sometimes people will make a beautiful, maybe it's mostly for Christmas. They'll have a ham with pineapples and cherries on the outside of it with a like a some sort of glaze, like a sugar or a honey glaze. And they say that it balances the saltiness with the sweetness,
Hmm.
and I hate it. I would eat the pineapple and the cherries, and I wouldn't take any ham, and I would get in trouble. Like, you can't just take that. I'm like, yes, I can.
Yes, you
Why
can.
can't I?
Exactly.
Imagine being 5 years old fighting about not eating your ham. It's
Yes.
it's very interesting, and I was very stern from a very young age. Um, I do love sweet potatoes. In the past, we used to put marshmallows on top of like basically you make mashed potatoes with yams or sweet potatoes, but they're orange. They're not the sweet potatoes that I remember in Brazil that were yellow.
Hmm.
So they're a little bit softer, I feel, and a bit sweeter. And then you make them even more sweet by putting marshmallows on top of them and bake them in the oven. And when I
Wow.
was a kid, that was my favorite food. Today, I had it recently, I think at a restaurant, like a buffet, and I was like, oh, look, sweet potatoes. It was way too sweet. I couldn't eat it. I don't know if it's because in Brazil the food is there's like a salty palate, whereas I think Americans have a sweeter palate, like when like
Correct.
the flavor. So I don't know if it's my taste buds have changed, but my favorite food is no longer my favorite food. So I don't know. And I haven't had Thanksgiving with my family in like 12 years. So, I think I should have to get back to you on what my favorite is. I
Yes.
do really like, I do like turkey. So maybe just, I know that sounds silly, but turkey.
The turkey.
Yeah, because we don't normally eat it and I enjoy it.
Exactly. It's like here. Here we eat, some people cook turkey and ham. Some
Hmm.
people choose only one. For example, my family, it's only a party of three. So I am not gonna cook two proteins and two
No,
big proteins. That's way
no,
too
it would
much.
be a waste. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So basically, but the way that we cook the ham, now that you mentioned that it's way too salty, the way that we cook it here to reduce the salt, that salty, it's through boiling the ham in orange and pineapple juice.
Oh,
So that, take away that salty and it's cooked, with that those flavors, and it reduces the salt.
yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of ham either. And even though turkey it's more complex for in preparation, I love it. I love it. I have
Yeah.
a collection of recipes of turkey, so I like to try that.
I can tell you the favorites of members of my family. Maybe that will help.
That will help.
So
Yes.
my dad loves oyster stuffing. So you know the oysters from the bay. You
Yes.
take those and add it into the stuffing. My oldest brother loves green bean casserole. And so you prepare the green beans with canned mushroom soup and some other things. And then on the top, you put fried onions. It's like little chips, onion chips on top. I don't like that. Um, my husband loves corn pudding, which is like a sweet corn, canned corn with cream of corn and like some sort of dairy, and you mix it. I don't cook very well, so I can't tell you how to do it. But it's
Okay.
something like that, and you bake it in the oven. I don't like that either. But don't tell him. I
Okay,
eat
I
it. I
want.
eat it, but I don't. He doesn't know. Well, he might know. Um, and then my middle brother, he really loves cranberry sauce. Like the
Oh,
canned, you put it in the refrigerator, and all you do is you open it, you take it like comes up with goop. It's like really nasty, and then you like turn it over and you cut it into slices.
right.
That's that. And I'm just
That's
like, all right, whatever.
that's a cranberry sauce, exactly.
Cranberry sauce is it's a can of like it reminds me of I'm not going to say it. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Um,
Okay.
and my sister, she's all about the pies. You know, she loves, my sister's a really great cook. Um, and so she always makes something really nice, but she's gotten into spicy food. So whenever she brings something over, I can't even eat it because I don't like spicy food. So, and she always has something different. So,
Oh
all right,
wow.
there's more, but I can't recall right now. But so that's something else I think is interesting is that at Thanksgiving, everybody has their favorite food. Like so like my mom will create like she'll make everybody's favorites.
Oh, typical of a moms.
Yeah, typical.
That's what
Yeah.
we're for, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Tabitha, I really want to thank you for your time of being here and accepting the invitation
Of course.
and, share with us a big tradition that actually it's going to be celebrated next week, next Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Thanksgiving, and can you believe we are around the corner for 2024?
I know, time flies. Every time I send an email for our teachers community, I feel like the first line is like, I can't believe how fast time is going. I'm
Exactly.
like, I can't believe we're almost done the year. But yeah, but it's fun, right? Time goes by fast, but we definitely are enjoying it.
Exactly. Exactly. I believe that each year has its own lessons or give us its own lessons, and we learn so much from everything. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
definitely
I'm with
that is the
you.
most important, and having fun.
Having fun. Yeah, I definitely plan the fun. You have to. You have to plan the fun, enjoy it, take pictures, and reminisce. And that's what we do at Thanksgiving, reminisce all the good times.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
love it.
That's true. That's true.
Ron, thank you so much for inviting me. This was so much fun. Thanks for listening to all my funny little stories.
I love them. I love them. So Tabitha, where can people find you? If there's an English student who would like, to follow you, take classes with you, share your social media here.
Yep, I'm also on YouTube. I've started a podcast where I'm sharing, similar to you, sharing different stories, sharing some tips, sharing experiences of my students. I'll be doing some interviews, so I'll have you on there as well in the
Woo.
future. Um, so we can put that at the bottom. It's just Tabitha Lucas, Tabithalucas. And then on Instagram, I'm pretty active. I share my stories, different polls. I really like engaging with people. And so that's Tabby Lucas, Tabilucas. You can find that on Instagram as well. And then
Excellent.
yeah, I have classes, so just message me. I do group and I do one-on-ones. And then coaching for teachers, I'm starting to do that as well, which has been really amazing, just helping fellow teachers.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely. I love them. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for all who listened to this, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.